All right. Happy New Year, TFFL. Welcome back to really another season of TFFL Webcasts. We're here on Wednesday, January 4th, 2017. We have just wrapped up our 20th season. The 2016 season is over. Congratulations to the Lizards. Rich is here with us tonight.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
And so we've just wrapped up the 2016 season. The good news for the rest of us, Rich, you can keep celebrating, but for the rest of us, it's now the 2017 season. It's very exciting. We're all 0-0. We're all looking ahead to the Pac Bowl. So I think it'll be a relatively brief webcast tonight. Let's put a bow on the 2016 season. We'll outline some important off-season steps coming up. But real quick, my introductions, as always, we've already introduced ourselves to the Lizards, Pac Bowl runner-ups, formerly our three-time defending champions, Jack's Giant Killers. Berto, welcome.
How are you?
Good. Our commissioner, skipper of the Sponge Fishermen, Chief.
Good evening. Glad to be here.
And Hank, czar and CEO of the K-Wheels and our IT director here on the webcast.
Good evening, gentlemen. Happy to be here.
All right. So another important thing tonight is I think we're going to wrap up. Let's do one more round of trivia here to sort of wrap up our scoring for the season. We'll start anew perhaps in the fall once we really kick off the 2017 regular season. But let's call this our final trivia question of the 2016 campaign. All right. So interestingly, at least a little bit, no TFFL franchise had 10 wins in the regular season in 2016. Now, that's not terribly unusual. I looked back, and it has happened now 6 times in our 20 years that no team has made it to 10 wins. If you dive a little deeper into the archives, we'll be reminded that Ralph, and we'll give a little credit to Ralph and the AMPAC here, they had the best regular season record ever. With 12 wins, a 12-1 season in 2005. Good for the AMPAC. And my dive into the archives brings up these 2 questions for you to answer. 2 points possible for each, 4 points total. So 10 franchises have made it to 10 wins at some point in their lifetime, at least once. And in fact, of those 10 franchises, 9 of them have actually made it to 10 wins twice. Name those 2 franchises that have never won 10 games in a single regular season. 2 franchises that have never made it to 10 wins.
And it's not the Fever and the Hogs.
Here, I'm not including those, but of all the modern era franchises, I'm including their predecessors. So these 2 franchises, if they had a previous incarnation, didn't get to 10 wins with that previous regime either. Now, 5 franchises have actually won 11 games or more in a single season, including the record-setting 12-win season by the AMPAC. 2 of those 5 franchises have actually hit 11 wins twice. Name those 2 franchises that have twice made it to that rare mark, 11-2 or better. All right, write down your answers. I'll give you the correct ones later in the show, and Hank will give us the final scorecard on our 2016 season of TFFL Trivia.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Chief, why don't you kick off our agenda here? I hope you're a little prepared. I know
I haven't seen an agenda, so I can't.
No, I know you can handle this. We have some important stuff coming up. There was a little bit of talk on email today about Myrtle Beach houses. There's rules. I mean, give us a quick look at the timeline here. What people need to be paying attention to.
There will be a fairly fast-moving draft location process, and that could be within the next 10 days or so. I did see, I think I was missing a key email in all that traffic because it seemed to be referring to something that I did not get. Maybe it'll come in later, I don't know. So yeah, we'll have a Myrtle Beach house, and we'll have North Topsail Island house, and that'll be it. I love that North Carolina house. I'm gonna push it again, and we'll see. The good thing is I have it all written up from last year. But yeah, I think we all as a league feel like we want to be in the same general area. The houses work for us. You know, nobody's floated anything outside the Myrtle Beach area, and I'm considering, you know, the Wilmington area islands is the same area. In a couple of years now, I think we're fairly happy there. The other thing is the rules process. I suppose the next move is mine to make, and I'll talk to Bill about it. But a few things came up this season. One of them was of course, the 25-point penalty, if you want to adjust that. Mitch brought up it's the draft order next year, if it should be thought of a little bit differently than, you know, following a regular season record. Remember, there was a disconnect where, you know, Rich felt that he should have either the 3-point home field advantage or the better draft pick, and yeah, neither. So, and there's a few other things that came up, God bless you, during the season. So think about them, definitely jot them down, and when Bill reaches out, be ready to go.
And Chief, there's some financial advantage to moving quickly on the house and locking it down right now.
I would think so.
In addition to getting the house we want.
I think we can probably negotiate something. Rich is a very skilled negotiator. Berto has experience with those rental agents before. We can make something happen, I hope.
Yeah, the real key there, Stick, is that we wanted to make sure we got a house on the beach.
Right.
And there are few houses that are often not renewed or available on the beach. And we can go back to one we had great experience with, and there's a second as an option, but both Berto, myself, and I think others felt the C&D Digs, where the bid day party was a great house. And we have the opportunity to lock it back in. You know, why not pull the trigger quick and just get it done and have it behind us?
Are we sure that's the house for bid day?
Oh yeah, I recognized it.
I was gonna say, it seems to me we've stayed in Spiffy Digs like fairly recently, in the last couple of years.
Check out
forever ago to me.
Check out the picture again, C&D. You'll see the little bridge on the left side that goes over to the beach.
I trust your memory over mine, believe me. The exception of Phil, I trust pretty much everybody's memory over mine.
I think, yeah, both setups. Both houses were good. They're both big. They both have 8 bedrooms, I think. Plenty of beds, 15, 16 beds. One had like that huge double kitchen. I don't know if you remember that, but look at the pictures. It may spark something. But both good houses, both relatively the same price.
Do it.
Hey, is anybody else a little frightened by Rich?
Is Berkman frozen? Is that a frozen Berkman picture? Everybody take a look at that for a minute. Look at that.
No, he's just a little big.
Am I a little too close?
There he is. Okay. There he is.
I was leaning forward.
There.
That is a nose cam.
There you go.
That was a nose cam.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yes.
All right, Chief. Anything else that folks need to keep in mind?
Not that I'm aware of. You know, it's time to start at least the preliminary roster building, you know, concept. I know I like to give myself usually at least a month vacation, but I can't seem to get it this year. I'm right back into it. I'm right back thinking about what I want the roster to look like next year, what I have to do to make that happen. Yeah, so I think that's about it for the league business. Payouts, if they haven't been made already, should be coming.
That happened.
What happened?
Yeah.
At least I got mine.
Got what?
I said at least I got my PayPal. I'm assuming you did, Rich. Yep.
Champ is all set.
Nice work, TFFL treasurer.
Yep. Kudos, Nick.
Okay, well, let's.
That was a pleasant sight.
Let's kick off our roundtable chat with deservedly so some questions for the Lizards. We'll talk a little bit about our new champions for the first time since 1998. Rich,
almost 20 years, man. 18 years.
Well done. So the first question I wanted to ask, we may have talked about this a little bit previously, but you're going to enter 2017 with obviously an extra draft pick from the Sponge, and that's not what I want to talk about. You're going to enter 2017 with your own draft pick, which is a little unusual for a title team. Berto himself has often been known to trade away those future picks, but he's not the only one. A lot of title contenders over the years are willing to give up that first round pick the following year.
That sounds like a good trivia question right there.
So you didn't make a move really at the trade deadline. How much did you talk about it? How aggressive were you? Were you disappointed at the time that you weren't able to pull something off?
Well, I clearly was looking for a running back, and I got that in Tim Hightower. Was he my top option? No. Would I have given away more to get a better quality player? Yeah, I absolutely would have. And I did pursue conversations with Ralph. I believe I reached out to a couple others. Obviously, I talked to Kramer about Hightower, but in the end, it was hard to get anything done with someone willing to give away something top notch, and I was willing to pay for it too. Meaning, earlier in the year I had offered Mike Evans to Ralph in what I would have called, me going after a blockbuster trade. Didn't pan out. He barely even responded. I got a response here or there, but I don't think he quite had the confidence in Mike Evans to be a equivalent trade, or who knows. But aside from that, just coming up towards the end, a lot of teams were still in it, not willing to trade at the same time. So it made it difficult to do something bigger. But I would have given away a player, a one, to really cement a good running back that I would have felt solid in instead of that last slot. I would have pulled that in a heartbeat, but it wasn't there.
The last time we had you on the webcast, you talked about Tim Hightower, and I had suggested that you had him last year, and he did the same thing for you down the stretch run. I have confirmed that. You were unsure about that, but yeah, so this is 2 straight seasons.
That's amazing.
Hightower, of all people, has been a big factor for you.
And I drafted him, let him go, and then traded for him back. So there's something about Tim Hightower that the Lizards like. Who knows? I don't love him any special, any more than any other player. But I was confident he was in a position to at least be a third down RB and give you that opportunity to get some points. And he pulled out for me in the Hams game for sure.
Quick response from you, Rich. If you had to name your 2017 keepers right now, is Adrian Peterson on that list?
Adrian Peterson on that list. Yes, he is right now.
Really?
Yeah, he is.
Chief, have you done keeper projections? Do you have Peterson on the Lizards list?
I'm sure I don't. I can check for you. I'd be surprised if I do. But, I think Rich is probably going on the assumption that he's going to be playing somewhere in at least a minimum part-time role. Let me read it off.
I don't see him on the Lizards. I looked, and
I am projecting him to be a keeper for the Lizards at the moment. I think for the argument you just made, Chief, I think come keeper deadline time, Peterson is going to look like a running back you have to keep, even if that means dropping at this point T.Y. Hilton and Michael Thomas. Or I think it'll probably be Greg Olson might get cast aside in that scenario. But I think Peterson will be a keeper.
I have right now, actually, no, I have him as the keeper too. Cam Newton, Paul Perkins, Jordan Howard, Adrian Peterson, Evans, Beckham, Hilton. I think Mike Thomas will find a home
Yep.
somewhere else, or maybe T.Y. Hilton finds home somewhere, whatever.
I think you're onto something there, John. I think you're onto something.
I don't think it takes any great powers of foresight, but yeah. He's got at least one strong keeper quality player to trade, and two if he wants to keep Olsen for another year.
Yeah, well, there's certainly some trade options there, and I think that there's also the possibility I don't keep a quarterback.
I like to think about that. That might be worth a further exploration.
Oh,
He goes from Cam and Luck to nothing.
I was actually thinking that when I looked at his roster. So
That's a very fair, legitimate thought now that I think about it. But that had not occurred to me. Breaking news on the webcast. Thank you.
I try to arm you guys with the latest and greatest.
that wouldn't surprise me.
You can see how the lizard's mind works.
You do know you just killed his trade value now.
That's okay. I still love Cam. I think he's a top 5, top 7 QB next year, and he can certainly remain on the Lizards. But he is certainly something to consider. They're all open to consider. I mean, as I said to Hank before I even started talking about Newton and Luck, was that I was going to see how things evolve during training camp. Dudes get injured, all kinds of stuff happens. But Stick asked the question today. That would be on my mind.
So, Rich, you have invested heavily in kickers in your. You're the only franchise ever to invest a keeper spot in a kicker. Kind of like the Giant Killers and the Aliens. I think you're often one of the first teams to go get a kicker in the draft. Justin Tucker was a huge, huge difference maker for you in many big games this year. I'm going to go ahead and mark you down for a kicker by the 5th round in the 2017 draft, okay?
Considering I have 3 5th-round picks, that's a good assumption.
There you go. Yeah, Justin Tucker was just huge.
That was
Second
awesome.
pick of round 7 last year.
It was a field goal bonanza, that game.
Right.
Never ended.
I believe he was the 3rd kicker taken. Aliens with Goskowski, Giant Killers with Hauschka. Lizards with Justin Tucker.
What round was that?
7th. Second pick of the 7th round.
That may be earlier next year. No, you beat me with Tucker having 2 50-yarders in the same game. I think there was another game where he was a big factor with 15, 20 points. He might have won you 2 or more games.
Yeah,
that's an interesting question. Well, not a question, but brings up a hypothetical that what is he worth? If you could guarantee he's going to put up identical statistics next year, what is he worth?
Mm-hmm.
3rd round pick?
I think you should trade for him. You should keep him.
I won't say it's worth a keeper. I won't say it's worth the 1st round pick. But after that, it's up for grabs.
Yeah, I do kind of dispute the notion that you wait until the very end to take a kicker. There are a few guys. Goskowski didn't really pay off this year, but he has for Berto in years past.
Or Hauschka.
You have to have confidence they're going to do it year in and year out, and few kickers do that. But Tucker might be in that category now.
Chris Boswell went 4th. Cairo Santos 5th. Dan Bailey. So it's hard to tell year to year. Yeah, you try to peg the good offenses, obviously. But Goskowski's been lapping the field in recent years in the draft. And this year, he's kind of middle of the road kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it goes back to, we've talked about this earlier. If your kicker puts up a quarter of your points in a week, or 20% of your points, that's a huge number. Those big numbers are great, but to Chief's point, it's hard to forecast that like you can a quarterback or any other position. But certainly you got to look at it, and you got to get a good offense, and a guy is going to get opportunities. And is that team going to be up? Are they going to be up big? Are they going to keep trying to score? That's what I loved about the Patriots. They could be up 35, 38 nothing, and they're going to try and squeak out that last field goal and figure out how to put more points on the board. So it's important.
If your kicker is getting 25% of your points, you got to look at your other positions, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you said it right out the gate, Stick. In past years, I've picked up a kicker probably in the relatively early side of most of the people in the draft, and I just look at it as filling an important role on your team. And when I feel like the rest of my starters are there, it's great to build some depth, but also just filling in that kicker spot with somebody you know is going to be solid is a good decision. That's as simple as that. You know, who it is.
Let's look at this real quick. I mean, the three guys you guys just mentioned, Gostkowski, Hauschka, Tucker, 3 kicking scorers in the league this year. Gostkowski is 20 points ahead of the next guy. All right, so he is by far the best statistical kicker. The difference between Hauschka at number 2 and Blair Walsh, who I dropped, and is ranked number 12, is 20 points. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and there are some guys that are different, but when you guys are talking second-round draft picks.
No, I would never do that in the second round.
You did keep a kicker.
I did.
Yeah, you kept a kicker. Kept a kicker.
No, Phil, I'm with you on that one.
And
I think you're looking at 20, 25, 30 points over a 13-game season. I tend to be the last guy to pick up a kicker.
Yeah, and maybe there's something to this idea that these teams that are pretty good at the end of the season start kicking more field goals and they get more opportunities to score. The Patriots, the Seahawks, the Ravens, all are playing meaningful games down the stretch.
But I think if you go to a lot of, you could pull up on the stats that you're looking at a running back or a wide receiver and see, variations as well. I mean, you're going to have a little bit more breadth there, but you're going to have, the same type of thing too at any other position.
But you got to start one kicker a week, one guy, and it's the difference between a really good performance of 15 points versus a bad performance of 2, I mean,
significant.
It's important, I get it, but it's not the end all.
Yeah, I don't think anyone suggests it's the end all. That's why I said it's just another piece of your team that you want to perform as good or as better than everyone else in the league, right?
Yes, and you guys should use second-round draft picks to make it happen.
I did not bring this up as a means for advocating.
No, it's a big kicker.
As long as I get to sit here with the Pack Bowl, awesome.
I'm just here to argue. I don't have the Pack Bowl. I got nothing but arguments.
Justin Tucker.
Mark it down now. If the Lizards have multiple 5th rounders next year, by the time the draft rolls around, Tucker is going in the 5th round.
We have 3 5s.
Yeah.
Well, great. Berto's going to draft at the end of the 4th round and take him from him.
That's right.
I think there you go.
All right, let's shift our focus briefly to the Giant Killers. Berto, I'm sorry.
Actually, Frank, I don't think he can because I think I have his 4th round pick.
I think you have my 5th.
Oh, is it that's what it is. I have your 5th.
For Doug Baldwin.
Which is at the top of the 5th.
Trying to beat him to the kicker.
Right after Justin Tucker, guys.
All right, so Berto, a 3-peat it was. It ends there. You'll have to start a new streak. Quite impressive. Your run of 4 straight title game appearances will continue. That in itself is impressive and can grow from here still. I think it's fair to say on behalf of all owners, you have earned our collective respect as a fantasy genius of sorts. On
behalf of all owners.
There you go.
I concur.
One big question.
For me.
You have had a revolving door at quarterback.
Yes.
Let me see if I can try to remember as many as I can. I'm not sure who came before Tony Romo.
Rivers.
Rivers.
Who?
Rivers.
Josh Freeman was there for a tiny bit of time. Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick last year. This year it's been a mix of Eli Manning, Dak Prescott, Matt Ryan. So I've just named, I think, 10 quarterbacks there.
Romo, do you have Romo in there?
Yeah, Romo at the start I mentioned. Yeah. So 2 questions. Do you ever fret about not having a real stud or a long-term franchise guy at the top of your lineup? And my second question is Matt Ryan your guy heading into 2017?
Yes, I do fret about it, and that's why I traded for Ryan, because I knew I had an issue, and I bungled the quarterback position a little bit, but before the season started. But I had Rivers for a while, and he won a couple Pac Bowls, and I had Romo for a while. And actually, when I felt like I needed to move on from Rivers, that's when I made the Freeman deal. I thought, the 3rd round pick or whatever that was, I can't remember. He was looking good. He was young. I said, okay, maybe this is the guy for a while. That didn't pan out. And then I traded a 1st round pick to get to the AMPAC for Romo and Eric Decker. So I made that deal to get Romo. And then I made the deal to get Ryan this year. I traded for Dalton last year. I traded a 4th round pick for Dalton. So, I mean, I've clearly, have fretted about it because I went out and made some big trades to get that quarterback. But I think I had Rivers for a while and I had Romo for a while. But, now then it was time to move on. And, if Ryan is the guy or Dak is the guy going forward, that's great. I think I'll definitely be keeping a quarterback. We'll see who it is. Hopefully the other guy that I don't keep is going to have some good trade value, and we'll go from there.
I think you should keep them both along with your kicker.
Yeah.
And Eli Manning is pretty good.
So one of them will be kept. To the second part of your question.
All right, and that's a wonderful segue then into the final topic I wanted to bring up. Let's start looking at our off season. Let's start talking about the trade market. And let's start at the top with a look at quarterbacks. It's pretty easy to look at the quarterback landscape in the offseason from year to year. The supply and demand questions are pretty obvious to sort out. Most teams are only going to keep one quarterback, can only start one quarterback. So it's pretty easy to see who's got top of the line guys they're going to be keeping and who might be in the market for one of those guys. We saw that last year with Cam Newton and Andrew Luck. We knew the Lizards were going to be the first domino to fall in that quarterback trade market. This year, the first team I want to talk about on the supply side, the one team I think with an obvious surplus beyond the Giant Killers who we just talked about are the Dirt Devils. Kirk Cousins ended up being a nice trade with the Aliens. The Devils have Kirk Cousins. They drafted Marcus Mariota. I turn to you guys. Which of those two would you keep? Keeping in mind that you might want to be looking to trade one of them. Do you think one of them has greater trade value? Maybe you trade one away that you can get a good package for and keep the other guy, even if that other guy isn't your number one choice.
Tell me where Cousins is playing next year.
Let's presume he stays in Washington for the sake of argument.
Well, you look at, and I don't think he'll stay at Washington, but if he does, Washington's got a, Deshaun Jackson's rumored to be gone. Pierre Garçon's a free agent. They really need Josh Doxson to do something and Jamison Crowder to continue doing what he's doing. On the other hand, you look at the Titans. They fired both their wide receiver coaches today. Rashard Matthews is number one. He had a really good year.
Yeah.
Tajay Sharp did not. Is number two. They're getting Kendall Wright's gone. Justin Hunter's been gone for I think the entire season. I can't even tell you right now who another receiver is on that team. So neither really in ideal situations. I think Mariota, he has some value as a runner, and I think he's actually a pretty good threat in the red zone. I think I would keep Cousins. I mean, even if he stays with the Redskins, I think they throw the ball enough. where he's a big statistical compiler. And I think I was reading something today, he was a number 3 in the NFL in yards or QB rating or something like that. We just, like a little spit take on that. But yeah, given the 2, I would try to trade Mariota.
Yeah, I don't have Cousins' stats in front of me, but I know it's 2 straight years with well over 4,000 yards.
Now he's got 2243 in his yards. He at least I'm looking at the CBS stats for for his year to date. His numbers are not great. I mean, his completion percentage is good. 14 touchdowns on 9 picks.
No.
That's what I'm looking at.
That can't be right.
Kenny Britt rumored to be going to Washington.
Yeah, I saw that
next year.
I keep Cousins and trade Mariota or let him go.
I think you keep Cousins. I don't think he's going to get much from Mariota. Maybe the Mongols, but it's going to be not much. I don't think. I don't see any other team trading for a quarterback. I think there's less. And I think Stick, you're going to maybe go to the demand side after this, but so I won't jump ahead too much. But I don't see a lot on the demand side outside of the Mongols. So I think they drop Mariota and you roll with Cousins, assuming he stays in Washington, and they pick up a couple free agent wide receivers. I don't think they're going to spend money and keep Cousins, who's been successful, and then let these guys go, whether it's Deshaun Jackson and Pierre Garçon and whoever else. I think they're going to figure out that he did pretty good this year, and they had some good receivers around him, and they're going to try and keep that up, even if it's not the same receivers.
Yeah, and it's correct. He had 4,917 and 25 touchdowns. That's that's not bad. He was, I think, 5th or 6th overall in the league.
He won my son his championship.
5th overall in the league.
I'm looking at weekly scoring averages here, and I'm seeing Kirk Cousins at 16.2 for the season, which puts him about looks like 8th overall, which is fine.
Yeah,
Mariota's down at 14.3, but I think that's skewed a lot by his late season numbers. Here's Mariota weeks 5 through 12. 29, 24, 14, 16, 27, 28, 17, 17. That's a strong fantasy quarterback right there.
Beat the hell out of me one week.
He had a great run. He is very good. I like Cousins' situation better, and I think he's a better quarterback overall. I think he has better weapons, better quarterback. Mariota could have had some opportunities against some poor defenses there. He does play in a worse division, so he will get opportunities every year to put up some numbers. But I still like Cousins.
Yeah, agreed. Cousins.
Chief, it's interesting you think Cousins won't be back with the Redskins. I can't imagine what they would turn to. There's no way that's a better team with Kirk Cousins.
No, but I think that they feel for what he's going to cost, they can get 70% is good for 25% of the cost. I mean, his franchise tag number is something north of 20 million, which is going to be his opening, salvo in the long-term negotiations. Unless the Redskins brass is just slow playing this, which is certainly a possibility. I don't think they're going to franchise him again. I don't think they want to pay him a 20% raise on top of last year for 1 year. Who knows? It's still a little early.
But they don't want to be wandering the wilderness without a quarterback. And you have to think that Daniel Snyder has got to be sitting back and saying, Eagles now have a good young quarterback in Carson Wentz to build on. Dallas has got Dak Prescott. We can't go out and try and recreate something out of thin air, and not keep Cousins. I gotta feel like they're gonna hold on to him and not get into a situation where they're not going to be keeping up with teams in the division who have young upcoming quarterbacks. I think they're going to do whatever it takes to keep him.
If I right now had to pick on the Redskins starting quarterback week 1 next year, I would go Jay Cutler.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
They're going to sign Cousins. I mean, Cousins is going to stay there. He's going to be there.
Okay, let me give you the TFFL trivia answers.
Are we done already?
Wait, are we talking demand? Are we talking who's looking for a quarterback?
I was going to save that for, but let's real quick. I did scribble down notes on the demand side of the equation. You mentioned the Mongols. Frankly, I think the Aliens may be a team in that mix, as we tend to be. Berkman has hinted that the Lizards have options given all their talent, and I think there are some legitimate questions about Cam Newton. Who knows?
I think 2016 was about teams solving their quarterback problem. So, the Wheels traded for Carson Palmer, and then they got Carr, so they're fine.
Yep.
The Killers now have Matt Ryan or Dak Prescott. The Sponge now have Andrew Luck, Kirk Cousins or Mariota, but let's say Cousins panned out for the Devils. So there's really not any sort of market this year the way there was. Everyone was scrambling for a quarterback this past year.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, the Mongols will be the only team who look to upgrade. And when you're in that position, why trade? You just take the first guy available in draft.
Yeah, I think it's the Mongols, and if the Aliens are saying they're on the block, which I don't believe for a second, okay, then those are the market for Mariota.
No, Aliens could, because they've got a couple extra keepers. They might gamble to get Roethlisberger back in the second round again.
Oh, he might go quarterbackless. I think that's highly probable. I do not see Stick trading for a quarterback.
Oh, right. No, I agree. Absolutely.
Agreed.
Which, if that's what you believe, basically leaves you with the Mongols as the only team on the demand side.
They're not trading for Mariota.
Which, as you guys have noted, means he may not need to make a move. We may not see a quarterback trade this offseason.
I think Burrow could flip him a quarterback if he doesn't ask too much.
Yeah.
Burrow's willing to trade Prescott, sure.
Dak Prescott to Des Bryant for the Mongols. Nice tandem.
Maybe Dak Prescott and Matt Ryan to the Lizards with the news that Cam Newton is not a protected speaker.
We'll see. Killers trading the quarterback. I love it.
You never know what could happen.
That's a fact.
I wouldn't put it past the Hormel Hams, who surprised us a little bit by going after Breeze. Obviously, Breeze is a stud, but for how much longer? And the Hams like to make moves and have the ammunition to do it. We could see a few things at quarterback.
By the way, how fortunate that David Johnson's injury was not that bad. Oh my gosh, that would have been terrible.
Carlos Hyde escaped serious injury too. His was an MCL as well, I think. Okay, trivia answers. Before I give them to you, Hank, you want to give us the scores so we know whether people can make up ground here?
So, went through the 12/21 webcast. We did not have one on the 28th, so we are now through those webcasts. Chief running away from the field, 21 points. Berto behind him with 16.
All right.
Hank with 14, and the guest with 11. So the guest obviously has not had quite as many chances, but that's how it goes at the webcast. We don't always make it fair.
I feel like the winning guy in Jeopardy, when nobody can catch him.
But there's 8 points available here, right, Stick?
The 4.
So there are 4 correct answers, but yeah, let's make them worth 2 points each.
Hey.
Change the rules at the last minute on you, Chief.
Yeah, why not?
All right, so we're looking for the 2 franchises that have never won 10 games in a season.
I just went all obvious on this whole thing.
Me too.
It's pretty bad. I got Sponge Mongols.
Sponge Mongols.
The Sponge and the Mongols are correct.
I have Mongols and Sponge as well.
Nice.
I had Mongols and Sens.
I had Mongols and Fats. All right.
Everybody got the Mongols part of the equation. Good.
Always good for the Mongols to work their way into a trivia question.
It's been a while, actually. All right, so
Okay.
now we're looking for the two franchises that have made it to 11 wins in a season on 2 occasions or more.
Okay.
I went obvious again with Giant Killers and Devils.
I went Devils and Pack.
Lizards, Killers.
Lizards and Pack.
All right, the 2 correct answers are on our panel tonight. Happen to also be our Packed Bowl teams from 2016, the Lizards and the Killers.
Sure, baby.
Both aren't going to get their own records wrong.
I guess
Killers-
you're not the only genius in the room.
The Killers did most recently 2010 and 2015. The
Wait.
Lizards 1998 and 2009.
All right. So Berkman, how many did you get? How many points on that last one?
I got 2 on that last one.
Okay, good. Birdo, how about you?
I got 4, baby.
Oh,
All right.
in total, I got 4.
Good. Yeah. And Chief, how many did you get?
I got 6 out of the 8.
Good. All right. Well, I see. I suck again. All right.
Wait, are we saying points? I got 8 points then. I
Yeah.
got
So 8 points for Birdo, 6 points for Chief and Berkman, and 4 points for Hank.
I wasn't
There it is.
worried about you. I wasn't worried about you holding on to the title here, Chief.
It's all good.
Jeez.
So the only thing I've won all season long. So do I get something out of the bag of prizes or something for that?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'll,
Any mailbag?
I'll dig into the bag next week for you.
Final standings for the 2016 season then will end up with Chief at 27, Birdo at 24, Hank at 18, and the guest at 17.
Rock and roll.
Right.
There we go.
Like
Good work,
competition.
Chief. Good work, Chief.
Nice work, Chief.
Chief, you
Congrats.
get a signed copy of the archives, perhaps? All right. Well, hey, congratulations again to the Lizards. Well
Thank
done.
you very much. Thank you very much.
Congrats,
We are
Lizards. Great game. Good work.
great game, Berto.
Well
And,
earned.
it's been a long run. Really, really happy. We are going to wallow in this win for quite some time and enjoy and celebrate it.
Don't
cannot
wallow,
wait to
revel in it.
revel.
Yeah.
We'll revel in that win. Yes, but we couldn't be happier. Seriously, couldn't be happier.
Plate is at the engraver as we speak, so
If,
should have a whole week or 2.
In a future episode, we can have the unveiling.
good. If Adam is out there watching, I'm sure he played some role in this. Who knows how big, but some role nonetheless. So congratulations to Adam as well. Well done.
My partner in crime. Rock and roll.
Berto, congratulations on making it. Again, 4 straight title game appearances now.
Thank you.
Nice job with the three-peat that is now over.
Thank you. At least it was an exciting game. We had a shot.
Yeah.
It was.
I thought you were going to pull it off.
Wait a minute. I just realized I'm the only Southern Conference owner here. So let's acknowledge the SoCo Party Bowl victory.
Nice.
5
Congrats.
seconds.
It
No,
came
let's
down literally to the last play.
It's ridiculous. The freaking last play of the game is what
That's
made that go.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I fell asleep long before that.
Yeah, it was Aaron Rodgers to Adams, and then they hit the 2-point conversion. But just that first touchdown to him,
Touchdown.
that put it over the edge.
Yep. The 12 points for Rodgers to Adams. Bastards.
So no money changing hands this year.
Keeps my bookkeeping easy for 2 straight years.
Rock and roll. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a
Hey,
good
in addition to congratulating our Pac Bowl teams, I want to. I'd be remiss. We'd all be remiss if we didn't acknowledge the great work of our commissioner, Chief.
Great work, Chief.
Thank you,
Great
Chief.
work, Chief.
Thank
One
you.
more year.
Thank you very much.
One more year to drive this train.
All right, and best wishes for a happy, healthy, exciting 2017 to everybody. Good luck in your quest for the 2017 Pac Bowl. Again, we're all 0-0 now.
Not yet.
Yes.
We'll soon be talking about the NFL draft and new players coming on board the TFFL. But again, as our commissioner laid out, we're going to nail down our draft location soon. We got the rules process coming up probably before the NFL draft. Berto, I know at some point is going to propose a off-season owners meeting.
Yep.
We'll look for details on that. But in the meantime, Berto, get better. Somebody else was sneezing on here. Everybody stay healthy. Have a great new year. Congratulations again to the Lizards, and we'll be back talking about 2017 very soon.
Happy New Year.
Excellent. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, boys.
It's been a
Congrats,
pleasure.
Lizards.
Thank
Take
you.
care.